Stronger.
Imagine a world without choices.
Stronger.
Imagine you can't make your own decision. That wouldn't be a world for me. That wouldn't be a world for you. You, I see.
Tell them we're gonna be stronger. Together, together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human being to be free. Free, so free. So the government is there to protect you and me. UIC objective is to liberate the citizens from colonial bondage, them regulation, them taxation. Rob Jamaica, we independent. Be stronger together, together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. This is Joseph Patterson, President of UIC Jamaica, and tonight we're going to be having a very interesting conversation with someone that I don't even know. I haven't met the person yet. I was just told by one of our backstage operators that we have this person who has been secretly following the UIC for some time and has decided to come out, come out punching, wants to share. So you're going to be surprised tonight, and I'm going to be surprised as well because I have no idea what this person is going to say. But we're going to just roll with the punches. Good night. Welcome, Sophia Bell Henry. Good to see you on. Carol Spence, thank you for being here. Avi, good to see you on as well. So how has your day been so far, all of you out there? Have you been having a good week so far, a good day? Anything on your mind in particular that you want to hear me talk about while we're waiting for my guest to join us? Do you have any particular questions, suggestions, that you have for the UIC? I'd be very happy to hear anything you have in mind and to answer any questions you have, or just to talk about any topic you want me to talk about. Good evening, Cardell. Good to see you on as well. All right, look like my guest is here with us. I see backstage some movement taking place there. So tonight is going to be unusual. We're just going to have a chat with somebody that I've never met before. I can't even give you a proper introduction because I don't know. So Ms. Powell set this up actually, VP Powell, and with the aid of Naika. So I'm looking forward to chatting with this gentleman. Let me just see here quickly if I have any, what did she say here? All right, cool. Big up JMH, welcome. So everybody please like, share, and comment. And do me a favor, at the end of the show, I want you to go back on the show and just comment and give us a rating from 0 to 100. So 100 is excellent, 0 is poor, and 50% is so-so. So give us a little rating at the end of the show so we know how we have done. So let me jump right into it and welcome. The name I'm seeing here is Marcus Anderson. Welcome, Mr. Anderson. How are you doing today?
Well, first of all, I am moved to know that I have been given such opportunity to speak to someone I have been admiring for a very long time, because I think this is the genesis of a new change in the island of Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I am really moved. I cannot find adjective to describe how moved I am.
All right, well, it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure to meet you. I don't know you. I've never seen you before. I have never spoken to you before, but you have been obviously following the UIC for some time. So tell us a little about yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and that kind of stuff.
My name is Marcus Augustus Mosiah Anderson, and I'm I'm hailing from the parish of Portland, the west, the west side of Portland. I'm from the east side from Portland, Tony, but I'm presently living at the west side at a place called Fruitfulville,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in Hope Bay region. Most people would have understand better if I say Hope Bay.
Right.
And I'm a former member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. I've been there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a drug enforcement agent for 2.5 years. I am presently a recording artist. I do reggae music. I do so many different things that God has blessed my hands to do. But I like to strengthen positive movements and positive people. I am a part of anything that is good, whether or not I have been invited. The Spirit of God always allow me to gravitate to the things that is right, because
Mm-hmm.
from I was born, my father always tell me that it's better to do something good or do nothing at all.
Mm,
So
very good.
I
Yes, yes.
and as I said before, it has been over 2 years since I'm watching you and following you, because I was waiting earnestly to find a set of people who are sober, because I
Mm-hmm.
come to realize that there's two gangs that is operating as parties in this country. And when I analyzed the whole thing, I was also a part of one of them. I was a bodyguard of one of the member of parliament, and I am not afraid. One thing about me, I'm not afraid for anyone to see my face, and I'm not afraid to speak the truth,
Mm-hmm.
because experience teaches wisdom. And of so doing, I met with Miss Powell, and then Mr. Solomon was the first person
Uh-huh.
who I met with, and I impressed with him, because we need more people who are not afraid, because I think
Mm-hmm.
fear is getting a hold of lots of us, which is man's greatest enemy. Fear is man's greatest enemy, and we allow ourselves to be afraid to speak out on the things that affects all of us,
Mm-hmm.
because if it affects me as a citizen of this country, I know it affects all of us, because we want to see something that involves the people, not something that is, I would say, contrary to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want you to know that I am in this thing with you without you knowing, because I am also campaigning on a daily basis. Wherever I go, I I beef up conversation that has to do with these things, because I'm not waiting on anyone to start an argument that is relates to redemption
Mm-hmm.
of my people, because my whole life, I've identified myself after leaving the police force, after leaving all these forces.
Mm-hmm.
I I always try to keep abreast on what is going on in this country, and when I keep following and following and following and following, I come to realize that we are in serious trouble, and we need a Moses. And when I saw you your thing, even before Mr. Solomon, I have been, because as I said before, I am a very keen observer. I observe a lot. And I said, this man is a Moses. This man is a Moses that God has sent to redeem Jamaica, this island of Jamaica, a country that God loves so much. And because we are so naive as a people, and we become dihearted, some of us,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
fail to speak the truth, and we fail to 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 to, to broadcast the truth.
Can I ask
And
you a question though? Can I ask you a quick question?
oh yeah,
So you said your name is Marcus Augustus Messiah
Mosiah Anderson.
Anderson. Were you in any way named in association with Marcus Garvey?
I was named after Marcus Garvey. Yeah, I know that God is with you, and that is why you have asked this pertinent question. My father was a Garveyite. He was born on the 17th of August, my father.
Mhm.
And of so doing, when I was born, he told me that when I was born, there was something different about me. That he said to my mother, I have to name this child because there's something different about this child. This child seemed to be more sensitive than all the others that passed through my hand because from a very tender age, he seemed to be before I was talking. He said I would be like doing things before talking that the others that came before me would not have done.
Mhm.
So he named me Marcus Augustus Mosiah Anderson. And even when I was in school, everybody, when my name called in school, people, everybody would look around at me because my
Mhm.
name always called first because of Anderson, because of
Yes,
the A. They
yes.
always and the teacher, but teacher never left. They never left out the other two names. They could
Yes.
just say Marcus Anderson, but they say Marcus Augustus Mosiah Anderson. And because of that, I know that names are very important.
Sure. Let me
And
just pause.
name
Let me just
because
pause for a second, Mr. Anderson, to acknowledge Vice President Dr. Coretta Brown Johnson, who is also our Member of Parliament candidate for West Rural St. Andrew. I also see Mr. Vincenzo Crawford, who is also our MP candidate over there in Manchester, and a
okay.
lot of other friends and well wishers. I see the former treasurer, Mr. Craig McKenzie. I see Valerie Lee and Wade Noble. Good night and welcome to all of you. You're in a chat between myself and Mr. Marcus Augustus Messiah Anderson, who is a secret admirer of the UIC for some 2 years and has decided that he wants to come forward now and talk about the movement in a more public way and to identify with our struggle, identify with our vision, identify with our mission, and encourage Jamaicans far and wide to do the same so that we can transform Jamaica into a true republic that will protect the rights of all Jamaicans from everybody else, from criminals abroad and criminals abroad. We want to protect your individual sovereignty. We want to protect your collective sovereignty. We want to ensure that Jamaica becomes the one true free country on the planet where the African can finally identify with a part of the world that is strongly reflective of the desire of Marcus Garvey and that of our many other heroes who have died in the struggle. So, welcome and good night to all of you, and welcome again, Brother Marcus. Please continue. You were explaining the origin of your name and the way your father saw you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, thanks. You know, and I'm gonna move from there because I want to say so much, and I want to make sure that the things that I really want to say, the time will afford me to do so.
Sure, sure.
Uh, First of all, I hate to know that these people, the media houses, have been muzzling you for so long, and that is one of my main problems that you have been muzzled by the media houses, and I question it a lot, and I come to realize that the private sector, they only fund two parties that of their liking, and whenever a third party comes along in Jamaica, there was one before this, but it was something just like the others. So it did not impress me. The NDM movement, it did not impress me at all. But I am absolutely impressed with you, Mr. Patterson, because I asked God about you, and the answer is that you are the Moses.
Mm,
Yeah, and I'm not saying this out of thin lips. I'm saying this from my heart. I'm saying it because I'm speaking according to utterances. I'm
mhm.
not here to sugarcoat bitter things. Yeah, because that is what is happening in our country today, and people are afraid to speak the truth about the suffering that this country has been going through because of two gangs. I will not speak about one of the gangs because that would not be that I would not be doing justice to at all. Yeah. So if I speak about labor rights and I don't speak about PNP, I wouldn't. It would have been better off for me to just go and have a sleep, get a bath, and go and sleep
Mhm.
because it would have appear as if I am on one side, and I'm a balanced person. Yeah.
Mhm.
And because of that, I'm tracking you, and then I see where these guys arrested you. And when I look at you, cold bomb filled my skin, and I said, no, I'm not a person who is easily convinced by anyone if they are not coming from the heart and if they are not coming with love. You know, this man, there's something about this man. And I said, so I started questioning Mr. Solomon, because Mr. Solomon is someone I admire a lot. And I, I said to him at one stage, I said, that I need to I need to liaison with Mr. Patterson, but I'm not going to rush into anything because time is the master. But back to the muzzling of you, yeah. And I said I have to do something. I have to play a part unconditionally, yeah,
Mhm.
so that I can assist this man in allowing all Jamaicans in the diaspora to come to their senses, because sometimes I wonder if these people are really asleep, because I've never seen anything so vulgar in this country from any leader like this leader that we have got here. I'm not afraid, and if he's anywhere looking, I want him to look at me, look at my face and see me, because I'm not afraid, because fear is man's greatest enemy. I am not afraid because God has sent me, yeah, to
Mhm.
say these things. I'm not speaking because I mean I'm getting paid to do this, or I'm doing this voluntarily, and I do this every day. I was in Port Maria a couple moons ago because I'm an artist. I went to studio there, and I left to a restaurant because I don't eat any and anything around. So the spirit led me to this place where this lady is a clean woman, because I'm led by the Spirit of God, the living God, the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yeah. And
Mhm.
the fan was on, and I tried to cool myself down under the fan, and when I went there, I felt more heat, more than ever. So she said to me, say, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not okay, because there's so much things coming at me, just sitting under this fan and feeling the heat that is coming. And I said to her, you know why the place is so hot? And she said, oh, the summer. Oh, I don't know what the summer. This summer it's never been hot like this before. So I said, we tend not to observe, but it's the kind of things that this leader, because I hear this man say that he's a co-convener and also a co-chair. I don't want to make a mistake here, yeah. He also they'd make mention of him as a champion boy. And when you're a champion boy, you have won something. And I try to ask the question: what did this man? What did he won? What he win? What this man won? And I'm questioning myself when I see that,
Mhm.
and the answer came back from myself, saying that he won because he has obeyed these treacherous people who are trying to use Jamaica as as an example.
Mhm.
Also Canada, because Jamaica is a country. Let me say this: Jamaica impresses the world so much in sports, in music, in various different areas. Jamaica surprises the world. So I think they targeted Jamaica specifically because of this. And as a result of this, they see this man as as a co-convener, then as the main person that they could have bought him, and have him to sell the masses of this country. And listen, I want to I just want to say this so much that, excuse me if I might be so more emotional about this, because I am very emotional, because my life is not for me, my life is for my people, and my people is all people that loves God. My life is for all people that loves God and want to see better change in this country. So I said, how can we have two gangs with two gang leaders? And when I listen to the opposition, I cry because I say this man is insane. If I am on the outside looking in and I'm not being paid to listen that keenly, I'm not being paid to observe in depth, because observation is a habit of making a mental picture of what one sees with particular reference to small details, and nobody seems to be doing that. Learn people in society who I'm expecting to come on, and these people are hypocrites. Yeah, they are hypocrites, because if I am happy and persons around me are unhappy, that's no kind of happiness. That's not happiness at all. You know, and when I look and I see the man who's supposed to be leading this country and leading the people, he get into because he make mention, he said we're gonna get a bitter medicine. That was the first time I start to track, and I said, how can a leader tell a man that is leading a country, tell the people that they will have to take the bitter medicine? And then I come to realize, what is the bitter medicine? Yeah, what is happening now? The vaccination, the population control, and all of these nonsense, and all these injustices, and on top of it, muzzling
I
the
think,
UIC party in such a way that
Mr. Anderson, I think it was a slip of the tongue. Sometimes, you see, we end up telling the truth accidentally. So he told the truth accidentally, that bitter medicine was coming. And the truth is, whether we elected one gang or the other, the bitter medicine
it's
had
the same thing. It's the
and,
same thing.
and I want to tell you this too. It's a long time that we're facing bitter medicine. You might have recalled as a young man hearing politicians tell you that we have to ban our belly. You remember those days? We have to
I
ban
remember.
our belly.
I can tell you so much, Mr. Patterson.
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell you so much, Mr. Patterson, because I used to bodyguard a member of parliament for East Portland.
Mhm.
I was there from the genesis, but I was more so following Michael Manley, because he was the only man that I felt something about him.
Mhm.
But when on the inside looking in, on the outside looking in on anything, it looks good. My father
Mhm.
used to say to me, Marcus, come see me and come live with me are two different
Two
something, boy.
different things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so when I actually go in there, and I've been there for almost, because I'm 53 years old now. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've been there from because I was a policeman for 5 years. I spent and then I I was with him for two terms. That means I'm over 10, 12 years.
Mhm.
And the things I've learned, I separated myself from them,
Mhm. Mhm.
because I come to realize that these people are not about the people.
Mhm.
It's about self, and it's about a gang a gang leader with gang members.
It's a criminal
And
enterprise.
yeah, it's a criminal enterprise. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say that. Thanks a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I realized that the private sector is also a part of of
A
of,
very
of
big, a
this
very big
of,
part of it. A
of
very,
this
very big part of
nonsense.
it.
They are the foundation of it, because they fund the two.
Foundation of it.
They fund the two gangs. They fund the two gangs.
Yeah. And let me say
They
it
are the
another
one who
way.
fund.
Let me say it
And the
another way
gang,
for you. Hold on,
yeah,
Mr.
the gang.
Let me say it another way for you. I want to say it this way so people understand clearly. The two gangs, that they're owned and operated by the PSOJ oligarchs. They're
Thank
owned
you.
and
And
operated.
operated.
And it's time the Jamaican people understand. When I say it, sometimes I think, Mr. Marcus, people don't fully get what I'm saying. It's like if you own a company, that's how these oligarchs own these two parties. So when you
Definitely.
see them, for example, right now, if you watch the news, you hear the two of them arguing, and one said them walking off the Constitutional Reform Committee, and one saying they oppose the extension of the age limit for retirement for the DP, the Director of Public Prosecution. And they have all kind of little things where they try to get us to think that they're fighting each other. They're not fighting each other. They're putting on a theater. They're putting on an act.
It's a show. They're actors.
It's a
They're,
show. And
they're
when
act.
we get caught up in their show, and we now find our emotions tugging, oh yeah, the PNP right on this one. Oh yeah, the GLP right on this one. And we're following the drama. You know,
Oh, yeah.
who is being challenged by the US for who's getting
Precisely.
back to common same-sex marriage. It's all a show. And
Precisely.
the show is meant to keep us divided and distracted, while behind the scenes now they're extracting our money from us. That is why when they finally let go two of their guys from, let's say, a particular bank, they'll walk away with $13.6 billion. When the average Jamaican has been subsisting on almost nothing. Where did that money come from? Where does the billions of dollars come from in these banks when Jamaica is so poor? When they tell us we're so poor, 90% of us are earning less than the US poverty line, 90%. So 10% of Jamaicans control 90% of the wealth, and 90% subsist on 10%. Yet still, we see these major banks making billions of dollars, but the people are poor. This is a criminal enterprise of biblical proportion, and they have pulled off a masterful trick on the people of Jamaica for the last 80 years. But back to you now, my friend. Continue.
And that is why they are trying to muzzle the Moses, which is you. God told me that you are the Moses that he has sent. And let me tell you this, if you are not getting a fight, go and buy a fight. Because if you are not getting a fight, God didn't send you anywhere.
Exactly.
So if you were not getting a fight, God didn't send you anywhere. And the reason why they are and have been muzzling you like this, because you see the media houses, I hate these guys. I hate them with a passion. And I hate them with I will never apologize. Listen to me. I am not afraid to speak the truth because fear is man's greatest enemy. Listen to me. When I look and see these people playing cat and mouse with reality, yeah, they're talking about Republic. And when I listen to the real Republic that you have, that you have, come on, Mr. Patterson, let me tell you this. I am with you all the way because I am more than convinced. I know that God has sent you. And I know that you will be victorious because God is ready to act. God is ready to do something in this country.
Well, I am definitely going to do my part. I'll do the
You
best.
are doing you are doing your part. I've never seen a man like you in all my life. Let me tell you something. I've never seen a man with the courage that you have in all my life.
Well,
Because they're
what most people do, Mr. Anderson, what most people do, especially those who find themselves in the so-called middle class, when they get into the middle class, they want to protect their class. They want to make sure that their bread remains sure. And so
self again. Self again. That
what
is
they
self
do,
again.
they side with the enemy against their own people in order to keep their middle class status. They want to continue to get the government contracts, or they want, when their party win, whichever one they align themselves with, they will get certain benefits. And so they will sell out their people, the very ones. You'll see politicians who come from places, horrible ghettos. They'll come from ghettos, some of them, right? Some of them come from ghetto communities. And as they rise up the ranks in the political system, they leave their people there. They maintain the ghettos. They maintain the garrisons. And they come on TV now. They make lovely speeches. You have some of them that people love because they can make nice speeches. They can come and say all kind of nice things. But they're still a part of the gang. They won't leave the gang. And you know why they won't leave the gang? Because they want the benefits that come from being
Oh,
a part of the
yes.
gang. So don't
Oh,
follow
yes.
them talk, follow them walk. Look where them a walk, not where the talk them a give you. So when they come and tell you about they want to give people goat, and they want to fix up education, and they want to give people water, and they want to give people house, don't follow that. Focus on, if you want good things for your people, why are you still a member of the gang that has destroyed your people and is destroying your people? Why remain a part of the gang until you want to fix? If you want to fix the problem, leave the gang.
Well, my father used to tell me, say, you know, show me a company, tell you who you are.
Exactly.
In a plain patois. My dad used to say to Mr. Marcus,
Exactly.
show me, and he said to me, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor taketh a seat in the seat of the scornful.
Hmm.
I don't have to go further.
Yes.
In Psalms 1. That's all I need to say.
Exactly.
To strengthen what you have said just now. And I must add, um, last night, last night. My brother, my brother is Joseph. His name is Joseph Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah, he called me and he said to me, "Mr. Marcus, why you look like say you come like you had a rebirth of Marcus Garvey. Something oh you brushing, you know, me there with you all the way, you know, with this UIC something. And
Wow.
would I like to meet this man, yeah? Because would I represent as a because that man he was a policeman for 21 years. He was a police in England. And
Mm.
he's a man with he's about 62 years old now. And the
Oh.
man tell me I just left his house a couple of hours ago because I had to go there to see him
Hmm.
on your behalf. And this is what I'm telling you publicly now.
Hmm.
That man is also a part of the movement. So these idiots don't know that lots of people who are sane, yeah, are deeply involved with the UIC, the whole the whole network and the whole foundation and the whole everything about what you are saying. It is this has never happened. This has never nobody has ever dreamed that a man like you could have arrived on the scene. That is why the prime minister and the opposition leader doesn't like you,
Hmm.
because they see you as enemy number one. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. They see you as a person ready to expose them. So they confide because the media host, they control the media houses, you know. So they tell
Absolutely.
the radio station with what is supposed to be aired, and
Hmm.
on all these and even some of these bloggers and some of these paparazzis
Hmm.
are partition. You have some of them because I listen and I'm going through and I come to realize that 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 80% of the people right now in Jamaica come to realize that this fellow, and I don't even have to call his name because
Yeah.
I don't respect him. I don't respect him. He's a fellow. This fellow who is leading claim that he is the prime minister, and this other fellow who claim to be a opposition leader playing a movie scene with each other
Hmm.
in face of our people, acting and they are comedians,
Absolutely.
and it's
Absolutely.
time for us to ask these two idiots to step away from it.
Mm.
Because if they don't, a lady told me up to this morning I was going up. I offered her a ride in my car, yeah, and
Mm.
she wanted to pay me, and I tell her, "Said no, lady, I could not offer you a ride, and and then and then you are trying to pay me on top of it." I said, "Listen to me. I want to do more than this, but I'm happy to get the chance to talk to you while driving." And so I asked her some pertinent questions psychologically, yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
find out where she's at. And then I come to realize that this woman is fed up with these two idiots. Yeah.
Mhm.
I come to realize that the woman is also fed up with these two yes men and these lackeys.
Mhm.
Yeah. Who 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 are mounting up riches and wealth in the name of politics
Well, at
and
the
party
expense of the people.
at the expense
They're
of all of
building.
us.
You see, I have no problem with a person. Let's say, for example, you're in the music business. Let's say you bust a tune or two or three, and the people love it, and because people love it, they buy it. They buy your record, and they come
Yeah.
out to your concert, and because of that, you become wealthy. That's fine because
Nothing is wrong with that
you would have earned it.
because you have earned that.
You have earned it. Where
Thank you.
we have a problem is when a person get unearned wealth, meaning
Oh man.
you know use your you come and trick us and tell us that you're going in there to fix the problems. You're going in there to fix poverty. You're going in there to fix education. You're going in there to fix healthcare. You're going in there to give us a Jamaica that we can be proud of, where we can live in decent communities. And after 5 years. By the way, the prime minister has been in politics for as long as I've been a professional working person. So he left university roughly the same time I did. And he has spent all of his working years in politics. So all of his gains are based on his life in politics. Now, politics don't pay a lot of money in terms of the actual salary until now that they raise it by 200-300%. Didn't pay a lot.
My.
So it wasn't a lot of money, but yet still, you cannot find another person, ordinarily in Jamaica, about his age group that has been able to amass the same amount of wealth by not being involved in politics. You can't find, and that's why lawyers leave and go to politics, doctors leave and go to politics, dentists leave and go to politics,
Very good.
teachers leave and why are they running to politics? Because they have discovered that the kind of economy that we have in Jamaica is one where it's in politics that you're best able to become wealthy. Any country which is designed on a model where you have to get into politics to become wealthy is a dangerous country, a poorly run country, a disastrous country. And so our prime minister, he has now spent all of his working life in politics. And if you look at his policies and his approach to politics, he is indicative, he's a reflection of the value system of politics in Jamaica. He reflects the values of politics. He reflects the kind of politics that those who came before him have perpetuated, those who came before him built and created. So the PJ Pattersons of the world, the Golden of the world, the Simpsons of the world, the Omar Davis of the world, the Phillips, all these people, they're a part of a system that we should all be ashamed of and want to get rid of as quickly as possible.
And that is why I am happy to know that you are not afraid. And I don't have to ask you if you are not afraid, because observation shows me that you're not afraid. Because when I see some guys dressed up into uniform of mass destruction, grabbing at you like you're a criminal, taking you away, tears run out of my eyes the day when I looked and I saw it. That and where the media hosts every minute just them put it out and a show said them a lock you up.
Mhm.
Like a something good them doing. And I sit down and I cried, I cried bitterly because with the things that I've seen, yeah. I wonder if these people don't have the same eyes, if they're not looking out of their real eyes. If I have to be asking questions. What are they looking out of? If it's their ears they're looking out of, or they're looking out of their mouth, or their nose, because I am certain that what I've seen, all Jamaicans saw,
Mhm.
yeah, and what you came there to do was nothing to hurt anyone, was nothing criminal, was
Mhm.
nothing that would cause people to be dehumanized and to and all the negative things that you could have make mention of. I saw you as a man with a great heart, with more than one heart. A man like myself who is not afraid, a man with almost three hearts, because you're not a sufferer. First of all, you're not a man that is hungry. And as far as I research, you're not looking delicacies from anyone, and you're not there to sugarcoat bitter things as these guys are doing. And why is it that 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 the entire Jamaica can't hear about you like how they are hearing about these guys? Every little thing them say, see it come over, say the opposition leader says this and the prime minister says this, and what about this party? What is it? What is going on? What the hell is going on in this country? Why is it that so much hypocrites are here, and so much educated fools, so much people who have been to university, people who have families, who have cousins, and people who are suffering? Yeah, is it that these people have been vaccinated to conform themselves? Is it that these people are asleep and sleepwalking? Is it that these people are some kind of, I can't even find an adjective to describe them, because the English language will not allow me to
I have
find
a
that.
word. I have a word for you, Mr. Anderson. Let me tell you what they are. I have a word for you, and it's a strange word because we all believe that, well, most people think we're free, but they're exhibiting the tendencies of a slave, and I'll explain to you why. Um, and I've observed this as a boy growing up. When I was growing up in the 70s, and I was watching the electoral process with my mom, because my mom was very involved in the political process. And I've seen clearly a parallel between today and even in slavery. And there are three things that you need to do to keep somebody in slavery. The first thing is fear. And so when I was growing up as a boy, most Jamaicans were afraid of politics in different ways. If you live in a particular garrison community, you're afraid to stand up because the other side may come and kill you. You're also afraid to speak out if you have a certain kind of position. If you notice, it's mostly poor people who will go and make up noise. Very poor people who almost have nothing else to live for. But as you rise up the ladder and you become teacher or police officer or nurse or whatever, you're afraid to speak out because you want to keep your job. So you're afraid of victimization, political victimization. So fear is number one. The second thing that they use to keep us in check is ignorance. Most people don't understand what is going on. They don't know what is really happening. They have a hunch, they have a feeling, they have maybe they hear something here and there. But until the UIC start to kind of clarify for us exactly what's going on, most people are ignorant. We don't understand how corruption works. We don't understand how they divide us, distract us, and extract our wealth from us. So we're ignorant. Now, in slavery, you had to keep the people from reading and writing so you can keep them subjugated, right? And so it's the same thing today. The very education system we have is designed to keep us ignorant. Believe it or not, we're sending our children to school every day to learn how to be ignorant, to learn how to follow a model that will keep them in perpetual poverty. Even those of us who rise up and become master's degree or PhD, we're still in poverty. Most highly educated people in Jamaica are poor. Believe it or not, it's only those who are
Definitely,
politically connected who get
definitely.
access to rape the tax dollars of the Jamaican people. But most of us, if you have a diploma or undergraduate degree or master's, you're still relatively financially insecure. Okay. So again, as I said before, they use fear, number one, and number two, they use ignorance. I talk to people in Jamaica who are well educated, and when I explain to them things, they discover how ignorant they are, even though they're well educated. So having a book education, having a paper education, having a colonial master education, having a Eurocentric education makes you generally ignorant of what is being done
Precisely,
to you. So that's number
precisely.
two. So fear and ignorance. Remember, the slave, the person, the people who were in chain and they're whipping you, they were afraid of their masters killing them, maiming them, or selling them. They were ignorant, they weren't allowed to read and write. Okay? Today, it's very similar, but this time the fear is political victimization, and this time the ignorance is by a bad education. The third element that they use to keep us down, not just the fear, ignorance, they use poverty. When a person is poor, they feel vulnerable, they feel weak, they feel like they can't stand up for themselves. And that's why the politician comes around and say, I am standing up for you. And they worship the politician. So when the MP come around, the big man come around. The big man, look at the big man. And they see
Very
them
good.
as subservient. And so whatever the big man say, they might even cuss him behind him back, But as soon as him come around, they're going to just line up behind him
So true.
and wait for the crumbs to fall from the
So
master's
true.
table. You
So true.
understand? So our people are still trapped in the slave mentality, suffering from fear, suffering from ignorance, and suffering from poverty, because we have not yet decided that we can free ourselves. We can break off the chains of fear. We can break off the chain of ignorance, and we can break off the chain of poverty. And so we're going to take charge of our country now, and we're going to boot out of office these guys. Now, for us to do that, Mr. Anderson, we have to understand the game. And what is the game? The game is some very rich dude who are ripping us off, are using our money to buy two parties to keep the system in place. So if we're going to beat them, we have to buy our own party. We have to own our own party. And we have to use our little bit of money and join together and beat them at their game and take back our country and kick them out.
My, you could never say it more better than that. Moses. I don't, I just, Moses just came out of my mouth. You hear what I just called you? Moses. So I am going to call you Moses then. Mr. Moses Patterson. Let me tell you, Mr. Joseph Moses Patterson. That's your name from today. Because you don't know how special you are. You don't know how special you are. Yeah, because you have opened even my eyes wider. Yeah, because my eye was open, but I was saying that there's no hope because nobody's going, nobody else can come against these two gangs, because
Yeah,
these gangs become so massive over the years that they have got a lot of people. So physically, if you have 1,000 man and the next gang over there have 500 man or 200 men, these 200 men will not try to attack you with 1,000 man, because he's gonna say, why the man there 1,000 man over there, so, and I just 200 away, we don't think we can manage them. But there come another set of people who is just like we have, for example, we have 200 people and these two big gangs, but we are not afraid, because we're gonna use strategy.
exactly.
Because it's not the size of your gun, it's the effect of your bullet there now. Because we're gonna show them, we're gonna show these idiots that it's not the size of the gun, it's the effect from the bullet. And we're gonna, and that is why I'm happy that they don't call the election for this year. Because they're giving Moses more time and giving the people more time to see how corrupted they are. Yeah, because people is looking more in depth and say, why this man don't want to call the election? Because the polls is showing that he's way under. He's trying to fix road now, right? In the community, they are trying to fix the road going into Port Antonio, and they're trying to do all kind of stuff, and they're getting busy, and they don't know that they are sending a message to people who are not stupid. And they feel that even those of us that was so stupid are becoming more aware, because they are getting hungry and hungry and hungry more and more, and they realize that these people don't care about. Look what look what this man have done recently. The man has changed the dollars into some plastic money, and it causes billions of dollars. Why didn't you take that money to do something to rehabilitate our suffering people? Why did you take the parchment money and send it and want to send it back? Why you send this plastic money? Then on the contrary, there are so many things that this man is doing on his own without consulting the people. Are you there to are you a bully? Are you some kind of some dictator? Yeah, America need to know about you then, because America likes to attack dictators. Why don't the America attack this man?
Mm-hmm.
This man who is dictating the way forward for the people. Yeah, muzzling people, and I want him to muzzle me. I want him to send men for me. Yeah, because I'm not. I'm going to say I want him to send men for me because I'm not afraid. Because fear is man's greatest enemy. I say this already and I'll say it again. Fear is man's greatest. And you just mentioned about the fear that they
Mm-hmm.
listen. When a man want to rule you, if he does not drive fear in you, yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
can't manage you.
Well,
Whenever a man drive fear, and these people are so afraid. They are so afraid. And Jamaicans, I want all of you to understand that I am not here to condemn anyone or to curse anyone. A man condemns himself by the things that he does. You condemn yourself by the things that you did. I
Mhm.
cannot condemn you if you are innocent, and I come here to say that that you're guilty. I'm a fool,
Mhm.
and I
Well,
will pay for it. But
the
if
facts,
you,
the
yeah,
facts,
but
the facts speak for themselves. The facts tell you when, I tell people all the time. I mean, somebody asked me in a recent interview, they said, I accuse the government. I said, no, I don't accuse the government of anything. I simply tell you the history. I tell you what has been happening. And so the government is their own accuser because they're the ones that have done what they have done. But earlier on, you called me Moses. But
hmm,
I want us to maybe look at another name, which is an interesting name. Is a name called Joseph, now, which of course is my real name. When I was born, my mother told me that my grandfather, who was a very interesting man. He led a church, so he was a pastor. He was also a commissioner at the Water Commission, and he was a boxer. His name was Roy Tiger back in his young days. And he said to my mother that he wanted to name me, and so he insisted that I be called Joseph. And when I was at church in my young days, I went to a church up by Constant Spring Road there, Dunrobin Avenue, Constant Spring Road, um, the Rehoboth Assembly, something. And there was a teacher there, lovely lady, and she told this story to me in Sunday school class about Joseph. And I became infatuated with that character that she described in the Bible. She talked about how Joseph was a dreamer, how Joseph could see into the future. And because of that, his brothers became threatened by him. They became uncomfortable with him. And so his brothers decided that they were going to do away with Joseph. They didn't
yeah,
want to hear it.
let's throw him into the pit.
They don't want to hear anything more from Joseph. So they decided to throw him into the pit. And they were going to kill him, but the hand of God so swayed them that they end up throwing him into a pit. And then they sold him afterwards into slavery. And he ended up being the servant of Potiphar. And while in the service of Potiphar, he was wrongly accused and he was thrown into
Yes,
jail. He was wrongly accused and he was thrown into jail. And then he rose from the pit and became the governor of the palace. He became the prime minister of Egypt and he saved his people. Now, I like that analogy because it tells us that sometimes you can't see the end from the beginning. You don't know why some things happen. And you mentioned how the prime minister is doing certain things. The first mistake he made was to lock me up. Because when he locked me up, he caused more Jamaicans to become aware of the UIC than before. And the
definitely.
second mistake, the second mistake he made was to call off the two previous elections and give us more time to find our footing and
Definitely.
organize and reach poor people.
Definitely.
And so
Definitely.
soon and very soon, with people like yourself leading the charge in your own communities across Jamaica, a spontaneous eruption is going to take place, a grassroots movement where we're not funded and owned by the oligarchs of this country, but we're funded and owned by the people of this country. We, for the first time in the history of Jamaica, since Marcus Garvey would have crowdfunded our own political movement, a movement which is owned by the people, which is built by the people, and which will therefore
For
work
the people.
for the people. That is the goal.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. As you mentioned the story of Joseph, I read that story over and over again, and that is why I add Moses to it, because you you have a double. I put it double on you. Then I put it double on you. I use the character of Moses because Moses led the people
Red
through the
Sea.
wilderness,
Mhm.
and and lots more things that you know about that he did. In addition with what Joseph went through, been through because of envy,
Mhm.
because he could see in the future, and they say, "Oh, here comes the dreamer again." His
Yes.
brothers will say, "Here comes the dreamer again,"
Let's get rid of
and
him.
yeah, let's get rid of him this time because it seems as if this guy is still alive, we're gonna look, we're always gonna be placed second or be placed nowhere. And that is the same thing that is been happening to you. You
Mhm.
went into the pit already,
Mhm.
but you are now out of the pit.
Mhm.
So I don't know what the hell these idiots, yeah,
Mhm.
and I can't even find a better name for them. I want to find the worst name for them. These
Mhm.
idiots, yeah,
Mhm.
who has no heart for the people. I don't understand this. It's hard for me to understand this. How could a man that has two eyes like myself, a nose and a mouth and all the members like myself, being so evil,
Mhm.
being so evil, because I mean the man them lock you up. You're staging a peaceful march, yet, but it had to happen, as you said before.
Mhm.
It is a good thing that they arrested you, because when they arrested you, all of this was ordained. So
Yeah.
out of evil come forth good, because
Absolutely.
as the writer says, all things work together for good for those that love God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path.
I
And I
want to tell you. I want to tell you something, Mr. Anderson. You called them idiots a while ago, but I want us to examine it carefully. I don't believe they're idiots. I would more call them devils, and I'll tell you
yes,
why.
yes.
Idiots do
Yeah,
idiots.
you're right.
You know,
Idiot is just the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah. Idiots do things accidentally, but
Accidentally.
but these guys are very
Evil.
deliberate. They're
Evil.
very deliberate. And I tell you what they are, why they're doing this, and I want Jamaicans to understand. And I know right now the focus of many is on Andrew because he's the clearest of them all. You know, he shines because he's the current prime minister, and so he's shining as the most dark of all, the greatest darkness, if you will. But I want you to understand what's happening here. Jamaica, Jamaica is still under what is called a master slave economy. What do I mean
Of
by that?
course. Of course.
Remember, the way slavery works is that you have a master, which is like, let's say, one, and then you have the slaves, which is the many. And the many are exploited, the many are robbed, the many are raped for the benefit of that one person or the few. So Jamaica remains a master slave economy. Now, that was the case from the time of chattel slavery when they chained us up. Now, when they abolished that chattel slavery, they did not get rid of slavery. They got rid of one form of slavery, and they have kept us in various forms along the way. So, what
Mentally.
exactly? Mental and wage slavery. So,
Definitely.
Andrew Holness, Mark Golden, the PNP, the GLP, the PSOJ, the media houses, their goal is to maintain that slavery in whatever form it takes. So the future form of slavery, the one that's coming now, the one that's coming, it's not here yet, the one that's coming, That slavery is going to be the one where they have you buy the digital, they have you buy your neck digitally. So they'll be able to track you digitally and manage you digitally. So that one is coming.
Precisely.
That one is coming. It's not here fully yet, but it's on its way. They're going to be able to manage you with AI technology and manage you with digital currency and manage you on every level. That's another form of slavery. The goal of these two parties, without them even knowing it, because all of their members don't know this, all of their foot soldiers don't know this, but those at the very top understand what they're doing. Their job is to preserve the status quo, where the vast majority of us are made to work hard and suffer in order for them to enjoy a higher standard of living, and those who control them to enjoy an even higher standard of living. So here's how it works. The guys who are running the biggest and most powerful companies in Jamaica, they're at the top. They're enjoying sumptuous feasts and beautiful living. Just below them are the politicians. They're backroom masters that work on their behalf to keep us in check. And they are also living a beautiful life above the rest of us. And then you have some middlemen, the house slaves down below, who occupy various positions of government ministries and public service positions, head of the army, head of the police, head of this, head of that, and on boards and so on. And they get another slice of sumptuous living. And then the vast majority now of the rest of the nation now live in poverty, live in distress. They have to go through all the pain and torture of the regulations while they can just snap their fingers and get special privileges here, special privileges there. If there's loans to be gotten, they will get it first at lower interest rates.
Definitely,
Down
definitely.
to you, you get it at higher. So there, it's a full master slave economy. So this economy has existed from way back in time until today. And their job, Andrew's job, Mark's job, and the hierarchy of those parties is to maintain that system at all costs. So that is why the media has to make sure that Joseph Patterson, that the UIC does not break through to the consciousness of the people, because the moment the people fully appreciate what I'm saying, it's game over. The system
Game
is
over.
gone. You know, that's why they ended slavery. You know, they had to end slavery, the chattel one, they chain you up, because the people had become so agitated and so now full of it that they're willing to die on yonder gallows than live in slavery. Then they have to change it. You understand me? When a Marcus Garvey rose up, they said, "Oh, we have to change it. Let's give them the right to vote now, because the money will come and it's going to change up the system. Let's just pretend that we care and give them the right to vote. But when we give them the right to vote, let us control who they can vote for." So we're going to control the two parties where they can vote for, control the candidates who they can vote for, but let them feel like them can vote. Let them feel like them have a choice. Make them feel like something good can come out of this. And every year, every 5 years, we'll just rotate. So they might give them 2 terms or 1 term, 2 terms or 1 term, but the system will remain the same, master slaves.
My uncle would have said to me, "Is the room for rent supply within? When I run out, then you run in.
Yes.
Room for rent apply within. When I run out, then you run in."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yep.
so and as soon as this one come out, he change the policies of that one and start to do something different.
Yes.
And it's a roller coaster kind of thing that these
Absolutely.
guys, yeah, they are going on with. Yeah, and I'm tired of it.
Mhm.
I am absolutely tired of it, and I have got lots of people listening to me, you know, and saying and realizing that, because I sit down with them and I make sure I table it out, you know. Yeah, because the things that you have taught me also it took me to put it this way, it took me to another level.
Mhm.
That I said, yes, here comes somebody who's I have to get very serious now, because see, here is a man. Here comes a man. Here comes a man that God has sent, because whatsoever is inside of a bottle, that what comes out. And when I hear people talk, I listen to what you talk, what you say, you know. I and I can, and if I don't feel, if I don't that energy, if I don't pick up that kind of energy, because a lot of people come to chat and because they have a mouth, you know, and they have a big tongue in their mouth, and they can come and they can say anything, like how these guys go, oh, we're gonna build this in Montego Bay, and two years from now we're gonna, and man, in Portland it's gonna be have to develop that in Portland, and St. Thomas people need this, and you didn't know that all along.
Exactly.
Right? You didn't know that all along. So why is it that you are trying? What is it that you're trying to what is it you're trying to do when you're telling learn people, making promises? First thing you say that all houses could be left open as soon as you become prime minister, and crime has never been like this before. Yeah, you say you're gonna build a new Jamaica. Yeah, of course you're building a new Jamaica. Of course you're building a new Jamaica, but it's not for the people. You're building a new Jamaica for you and your cronies, you and you and them and those. Yeah, who know that Jamaica is the Garden of Eden and the Promised Land. Yeah, and you want to listen to me. The things that Mr. Joseph Moses.
I tell you something. One of the things that they have done with us is, and you will know this, you've been hearing this, you're 53 years old. I'm just a year younger than you. This August the 2nd, I'm going to be turning 53. And since I've been growing until now, I've heard the same thing.
Young man.
When I was 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, you know it too. Here's what they tell us all the time.
Yeah.
Jamaica is poised for growth. You remember that?
Oh, from I could understand what people say.
Yes.
I've been hearing that.
And so the two things, you know, they kept telling us to ban our belly and we're poised for growth. They've been doing that for years. Ban your belly. We're going to take off.
Can you imagine that?
Jamaica,
can you imagine that telling people to ban their belly?
Yeah, man. And we're going to take off. 20 years ago, we're going to take off. 30 years ago, we're going to take off. 40 years ago, we're going to take off. 50 years ago. But what they're doing throughout all this time, Mr. Anderson, here's what they've been doing throughout all this time. They have borrowed more than $2 trillion in our name, thief it, enrich themselves, and ban our belly to pay back the loan.
Very good. Very good.
That's what they have
very
done.
Good.
They have borrowed trillions of dollars in our name, because when a politician borrow money, you know, you have nothing to worry about. If you borrow money, if you go to the bank and you borrow, like back in FinSac, remember in FinSac, 40,000 small businesses borrowed money from the bank to build up their businesses, and they're doing their thing. And then overnight, the government jack up interest rate and make it impossible for these people to pay the loans. And then they call in the loans and then take away these people's property, because your property, you know, is your collateral, okay?
Is your collateral.
Cause some of these people to hang themselves. Some people committed suicide because they're now big men and women and they've lost everything. Now watch me. When the government borrow these monies, all they do is skimp on fixing the roads, skimp on paying the police, skimp on paying the teachers, skimp on making sure our healthcare system is working properly, skimp on the quality of our education, skimp on maintaining our society to be safe, to be clean, to be orderly, to look and smell and feel good. And we now suffer from lack of proper policing, lack of proper roads, lack of proper healthcare, lack of proper schooling. And so over the last 80 years, we have been banning our belly and paying for the loans they took and allowing them to get rich off us, because they will never have to pay back these loans. Every time, when I was a boy, I used to hear us clapping and cheering when our politicians go abroad and they come back home and say, oh, we have secured a new bilateral agreement and we're going to get this millions in loan and that million, and people are clapping.
People cheering.
I said to my mother,
ridiculous.
Said,
ridiculous.
What are we cheering for? Why are we cheering?
What are you cheering for? What are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? Exactly. Are you celebrating your downfall?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's They
Are
have,
you so ignorant that you prematurely? Oh, come on. They, that's the same thing. This man go away sometimes, and when they go away sometimes, you don't even know why they go away.
Mhm.
They go away and they return without the country knowing why. And is it taxpayers' money that pay your plane fare to go and look after the people's business? Because you're not going. It's not that you're going on vacation. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're not going on vacation to see your girlfriend or see your boyfriend because of these guys are boyfriend. Yeah. So why is it that the people are not being briefed? Put it this way: being briefed about your visit, and on your return, nobody knows what happens. And
Yeah.
this man has been doing it over and over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Yeah, and people are here suffering for the basic necessities of life. The basic necessities of life, like food. Look at a place like Jamaica. Yeah, and you're importing tomato ketchup in Jamaica constantly. You're importing things that can be grown in Jamaica anywhere.
Well,
You've got farmers who listen. The way forward is to eat what you grow,
yeah.
feed yourself. If a country is not feeding, if we are not feeding ourselves, then for example, put it this way: I'm a Rasta man, and I'm living at somebody's yard, and I'm not putting up no money, and every day them cook pork. What you think I'm going to have to do?
You have to
These
do
guys are feeding me. I got to yam pork.
absolutely.
I have no other alternative than to go and yam pork because they are feeding me.
Well, what
How
what
could
our, what our politicians did, they went abroad and they signed away our right to feed ourselves. They signed away our right to feed ourselves and made agreements that said we should import more than we produce. Okay, so
nonsense?
they undermined our farmers. They undermined our students because they caused us to be leaving school.
Thank you.
Most of our graduates from school, most of our graduates leave school incompetent.
Of
We
course,
cannot read properly, we cannot
of
write
course.
properly, we cannot analyze properly, we cannot think properly, we cannot produce properly, we
Sorry.
cannot fix things properly. So they have made sure that our population, and then those who can do it, those who come out a little brighter, they quickly ship us off overseas because remember, if you want to make something of yourself, your quickest bet is to fly away. Right? They have made that kind of economy. They have made that Jamaica where if you stay here, if you born here and grow here and never leave this country, your chances of being able to attain a reasonably basic standard of living like what you could have attained on minimum wage overseas is slim to none. That's just a fact. Even those
Yes,
people
sir.
who are going to offices wearing
Yes,
stocking and high heels and even jacket and tie, many of them live in very substandard shelters. You understand me? Many.
precisely.
Many of them can't fix the bathroom seat if it becomes broken.
I have seen it.
Many, yeah, the kitchen is dilapidated, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm just telling you the reality of life in our country. And many of those persons are going to run out there in their green shirt and orange shirt and cheer for their respective party, not realizing that they're cheering for their own demise. They're cheering for their own destruction. They're cheering for their children to grow up and have a country that cannot give them hope and opportunity. And their children will have to leave here to go abroad to make something of themselves. That's what you're cheering for. That's what you're advocating. When you go and vote for one of these two parties, you're voting for your destruction, the destruction of your children, and the destruction of your grandchildren, because these parties are committed, 100% committed to maintaining the same Jamaica you saw 50 years ago. When you were born 50 years ago, we had a high crime rate problem. It only have gotten worse. 50 years ago, the value of our dollar was heading in the wrong direction and it continues to head there. 50 years ago, our economy, our school system, our healthcare system was heading in the wrong direction and it has continued. So as long as we continue to vote for these two parties, as long as we even allow the PSOJ to fund them while we, because listen, Mr. Anderson, if we get up at election day and simply wait for election to come and say we're waiting to vote UIC, we're going to fail.
Of course.
We can't just wait to vote UIC. We have to make sure that we have UIC to vote for. We have to make sure that we are putting in place the candidates. We are funding the operation. We are shareholders. We must all be shareholders in the enterprise called UIC.
Precisely.
You understand?
Precisely.
If we're not shareholders and we're just waiting to vote, we might go there in the morning to vote and we're going to send a UIC to vote for because we haven't made it happen.
You're so right. You're so right, my brother. And that is why, you know, when I listen to you, because I always follow you in every speeches that you make, and Mr. Solomon give thanks to him because he has been doing a good job. He has allowed me not to have to search far to get your speeches, so I could just go on Twitter and I could sit down and I could sit down with my next to kin. I could sit down with my brother and I could send it to their phone and I could and then I could let them hear it from the horse's mouth, and all of these persons that I don't want to convince anyone. Yeah, I'm not here to convince anyone, because when you're convincing people, that means something is wrong. They have convinced themselves, yeah, that this man is the man to listen to, because they have never heard anyone spoken this way before. They have never heard anything. They never know that the things that you have taught them. They never knew that even the private sector was funding these two gangs, and the media houses is a participant of all of this buggery and this criminality, yeah, that goes on, and they need to stop this. Because listen to me, people want to talk, but they have got no platform to speak from, because no platform has been provided for them. Because if you say anything, police come here, you are looking for you. Say you attack something back against brother God and father God and sister God and all these gods, yeah. And another thing, if we do not act, talking is good enough. Talking is good. Anybody can talk, you know. But you have to walk the walk.
Absolutely.
You can't just talk and you're not walking. That's why I was happy for this live, because I went to see my mother this morning, and I'm on a serious campaign, you know. I'm on a very serious campaign, because the future of this country is dim, as far as I can see, and I see a light. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light that I've seen at the end of the tunnel is UIC.
Exactly, it's UIC. Here's one of the things, Mr. Anderson, that I want to highlight, because there are many talkers out there. If you go every day, there's maybe a new channel being created on YouTube, and you have persons who are talking and talking and talking. And some of us get carried away because we've become so attracted to the talkers that we just want to go and listen. It's like going to church, you know, and you go to church and you go for the next hot sermon. Where's the next hot sermon? So you want to go here. Your life not changing, you know. You're
gossip.
You're still a devil, you know. You're still living, and you're just going to church to hear the nice sermon. Now, the UIC is different. Unlike other platforms, we have created a political party. We have created a political movement, and we have created the avenue for us as a people now to take charge of our government. We can do that now. The other talkers out there, they will talk, but they have nowhere to lead you to. They're not putting up any candidates. They're not creating any avenue for you to take over the government. So every day they can come and they'll talk. And that's why some of the bloggers, they're really there to talk, but then to push it towards one or the other of the two.
Or the other.
So they're there talking, you know, and they sometimes pretend to be unbiased. They try to pretend to be unbiased. And
That
then,
is my greatest concern,
yeah,
because I'm happy that you, because I was gonna make mention of it.
yeah.
When these bloggers and these paparazzis, yeah,
Mhm.
uh, they're going from JLP to PNP, from
Exactly.
PNP to JLP.
Exactly.
There's no solution.
That
And
no,
if you're going back and forward with these two demons,
mhm.
yeah, you're gonna be demonized,
Yeah,
because there's not a place that you're not sending people anywhere. You're not saying, look, go over there, because over here and over there is not good. You're sending them these that used to be over here. It has been going on now. People
yeah,
change from JLP to PNP. They change from PNP to JLP. They don't like this man and the member of parliament.
yeah.
Me and him and a friend. Me now vote for him again. And you're
Mhm.
going over this and you're going over this and you're going over this. How you don't vote at all? There are
They're
some people
moving. They're moving in the
who
way.
says,
They,
yeah,
they're,
who go
they,
two ways until
they
they say,
bounce.
so
They're
so
bouncing.
me not bother with the two of them are the same thing. Me not no voting business,
But I tell you
because
something, Mr.
there is
Marcus,
no, and
for
here
for
comes
most of these bloggers, this is really about entertainment and rating.
entertainment, and to get views,
To get
and to get how
you
much
understand.
K's and how much
So
subscription, because first thing they're going on, they say, remember to touch the subscription button, and remember to subscribe. And
yes,
I listen to
yes.
these guys, and
It's
I know
all
it's a
about you.
business.
Yeah. And so what
They're
they
using
want,
gossip. It's a business.
they will crucify Jesus himself just to get ratings. They don't care. They will crucify Marcus Garvey to get ratings. They'll crucify the most holiest because they don't care. They will destroy a man's character. They'll rip it to shreds just to get ratings. And they have nowhere to send you. 1 minute they're saying bro God. Next minute they're saying the mark of the beast. And they keep going
Yes,
back and forth. And they say, oh, and then they take, they help the system to divide us and distract us. So they feed the distraction to us. They feed the distraction narrative because the political system we have in Jamaica, it is designed to divide you and to distract you. How does it distract you? It gives you all kinds of entertaining drama between the two parties. Uh, 1 minute it is around same-sex marriage. The next minute it is around the DPP. The next minute it is around who don't get visa to go back to wherever. The next,
definitely.
so they have all these stories, and the media now feeds them to you. And while the media is feeding it to you, what do they say every day? PNP, GLP, PNP. So they're using subliminal messages. And they're planting in your mind that your only option is PNP, GLP. It's like a tennis match. You're watching the tennis match, ball going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you're watching the match while somebody's picking your pocket. Right? You understand? You're fully watching the
Precisely.
ball game, right? The ball game is going
Precisely.
on, and you're cheering for your
Precisely.
side or whatever. And you're very busy, you're focused. What is the latest drama? So you're following the latest drama. And while you're following the latest drama, you might wake up tomorrow and you're now locked in the CBDC, or you're locked in the latest derivative of some form of lockdown or some form of injection or anything, whatever they can find that they want to use against you, they'll do it while they're distracting you.
I am impressed. From the very first day I I tune into to your voice, because I have been searching and searching, and I said to my brother, listen to this man. The first time I heard you, I said, I want you to I found a man here on this social media network, and he impresses me a lot. This man, where's this man from? And he said, who is it? I said, listen to him. And we were there listening to you, and you were outlining the state of the country, and also giving us a solution. You were not like the others who are outlining problems
Just criticize.
and stuff, and they're not telling you a solution. Yeah, because We want to know where's the solution. Yeah, all of us know the problem, but come on, where can we go? Where can we go to find shelter then? The rain is coming. The rain is coming. Fine. The storm is coming. Yeah, we're living in shops. So where do we go to shelter? Yeah, none of this, absolutely none of this has been done. Listen to me. I'm telling you this, and I'm telling you this from my heart. I'm not an idler. And
Mhm.
if I didn't find if I didn't reach the level where I'm confident, I have confidence totally in you. I would not have been on any live with you. I have so much things to do. I'm a man of many different, would do a lot of different things. A lot of people calling me. I turned my phone off, the other phone off. I use this phone. This is not my
Mhm.
phone because I know that if I'm on my phone, I would be interrupted long ago. So
Right,
I
right,
turned
right.
my phone off because I tell some people, so listen, they're calling me and they come and say, listen to me. It's gonna reach to the way this country is going. It's gonna reach go back to a time where, like in the 70s, where you're going to start back to send telegram and all these things
Mhm.
because these people are going nowhere because what they are doing is securing their future for themselves and their family and their cronies around them. They're not thinking about nothing about the future of this country. As
We
you
are
said before, they are borrowing money in our names.
we
Yeah,
are
they
like
are borrowing money in our names. And when they depart from office and people vote them out, they're going about their business. They care less about nothing again.
exactly. The problem
Where
is
are
that
the
me and
policies?
you.
Yeah,
We,
where are the policies that you are putting in place
yeah.
to remedy these defects that
Mhm.
keep occurring over and over and over again? Even this money that they just make, this little plastic thing that they make just the other day for billions of dollars from
All a trick.
taxpayers' money.
All
Why didn't they take this money and build some factory?
all a trick. I tell you something. You're talking about money. I want to point out something else to you about the vloggers. And I have nothing against vloggers. Nothing against them.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just want
Not
to
at all.
point out something very important. I heard some people recently trying very hard to give people the impression that I'm a thief, trying very hard to spread rumors about money and all. But they never asked the question, where does the vloggers' money go? All those vloggers who you're supporting, those who come night after night, day after day, telling you all kind of stuff and having no solution, and you send them money. Where's that money going? What is it going towards? Is it building a party in Jamaica? Is it building a solution in Jamaica? Is it giving Jamaica an opportunity to break free from the colonial system? Or is it just going into their pockets and they get to eat it? Have you ever thought about that? They freely give their monies to these bloggers, which I don't have a problem with that. I give them your money if you want, that is your money. But don't allow them to trick you into telling you that you should not fund the UIC because if you fund the UIC, you're being robbed. No, if you fund the UIC, you're saving yourself, you're saving your country, you're saving a nation for your children and grandchildren.
It's
Because
the
the
same
UIC,
thing,
yeah,
my brother. It's
go
the
ahead.
same thing they tried, the same thing they did to Marcus Garvey that they want to
Exact
do to
same thing.
you.
Exact same
Yeah?
thing.
The same thing they did to Marcus Garvey, what they want to do to you, and people never realize until it's too late. I hope these
Absolutely.
people will not sleep the sleep of death. Yeah,
Yes.
and sit down there and allow these people, yeah, to as I said before, anyway, you must expect that they will
Of
do
course. Yes. I
just
I
about anything to so don't be afraid. Don't be
I'm
afraid.
more
These
I'm
people
more
can.
concerned. I'm more concerned about the people. I said this from day one. I told everybody from day one they're gonna come after me hard. And they haven't finished yet. They have now did three major attacks on me. Three major attacks now. All three of them have failed. But it's not over yet. They're gonna come at me with more and more and more. The only way that they won't get me is if the people rise up and decide that they are not going to be stopped. The people. I can't stop them by myself. There's no way I can stop them. I mean, the more the UIC becomes popular, is the more they're going to target me. And one day they're going to succeed if we let them.
And
So
we're not gonna let them,
if we
We,
the people don't rise up and say, listen, because listen, The news can't stop us. The media, once we the people take off, the media becomes irrelevant.
Of
The,
course.
all of them will be irrelevant. Once the
Of course.
people decide that, listen, we want the UIC, and so the people now will become the spreader of the good news. So you're going to have word of mouth spreading right across, and nothing beats word of mouth. You see, if tomorrow all the people in the hearing of my voice decided that today is the day when all of Jamaica must know about the UIC, if these people watching right now decide that tomorrow this is it, you're going to see this message spread like wildfire across all 14 parishes and the entire 4 million Jamaicans across the diaspora. We're the ones who are holding it up. Just like with Marcus Garvey, what happened with Marcus Garvey? They tricked the people into believing he was a fraud.
Yes.
Okay? And once they convinced the people that he was a fraud, then all of the industries that he built collapsed. The Black Star Liner collapsed. All of the many in businesses that he had built, black businesses with black men and women, and saying, let's take charge of our lives. The moment they convinced the people that Marcus Garvey was a fraud, it was all destroyed. And they will stop at nothing to try to get the people to believe that Joseph Patterson is a fraud so that they can cut off the head and then they can cause the body to disintegrate. Before
Definitely.
they do that, we need to rise up now, own this party, so that even if they come at Joseph Patterson, it will be irrelevant because we would have risen up. We would have become the mass of the movement. And so you're searching in the sea and you can't see Joseph Patterson because the movement is so big. You're looking, you can't see me no more. I'm too small now because we, the people, have taken over. And
Definitely.
we have to kill off 1 million of us before you can stop the movement. So let us do that. Let us rise up and take charge and say, this is our movement. This is our party. This is bigger than Joseph Patterson. This is now the United Independence Congress of Jamaica.
Amen. And I must say this to you, that I am also an example of what is happening.
Yes.
Because I don't know you.
Exactly.
I've never seen you before,
Yes.
apart from on the TV, and I'm seeing you live now. You don't know me.
Exactly.
Yeah? But let me tell you something. When God get ready, it's when God get ready, let me tell you something. You see what you are doing? You're not doing this on your own. And no, let me tell you something. The gates of hell will not prevail against you. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. None.
Amen.
None that rise up against you shall be victorious. Because thus said the Lord thy God. And it has reached to a point where the mishaps and all the negatives that is going on is up into the nostril of the Almighty God. It reaches up to his nostril. It stinks. Yeah. And God is about to do something. Let me tell you this. God is about, the devil was trying to stop this live, My phone battery went off. First thing when I went out and I came in a bit late, I had to go to the bathroom because I have cleanliness is godliness. I like to. So even though I'm not going to be beside you, I said I have to cleanse myself off because I was on the road, and the phone got locked down on numerous occasions. My empress is more privy to this phone thing and all that because I'm not a phone man, and I don't even like phone because I know it's a tracking device. So I try to use the good out of it. I don't allow phone to be if I leave my house without my phone, I'm running back breaking my neck to come and snatch phone. And if I leave my house and leave my mother there, I'm not running back to snatch my mom. Come on, we need to set our priorities right and know what we're about. And let me tell you this before we go, without any apology, yeah, that I am right beside you 175, 200%, because this is a part of my life. This is a part of what I'm here. I was created for. Yeah, and I will leave no stone unturned. And I don't care who want to be on the live watching me. are listening to me because I'm not telling any lies. I'm speaking the truth and I'm not blasphemously saying anything against anyone. I am not trying to degrade anyone or dethrone anyone. People will degrade themselves and dethrone themselves according to their modus operandi. I
Mhm.
am not here to take side with the devil because I don't like the devil. And I've seen the devil raising his ugly head in this country. And our people are sleeping the sleep of death. Because I don't, let me tell you something, Mr. Joseph Moses Patterson. Let me tell you something. Yeah? No, it doesn't care what hour of the night you want to call me. If it is something that has to do with this movement, yeah, I will be there. And I'm going to try to start setting up some different things that I won't say here because sometimes and everything good feet good for talk. Father used to me say, young man, and everything good feet good for talk, I still don't keep a wise head. You hear
Amen to
me?
that. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so some of the
So,
things you just have to speak according to utterances and the things that I've said before. I spoke according to utterances. There are a lot of things that is in the back of my cranium that it is not the time. It's not the time because
not
time
the
is the
time to
master.
say no. Absolutely. Well, let me
Yeah.
thank you. Let me thank you very much, Mr. Marcus Augustus Mosiah Anderson, for being here tonight. It was a real pleasure. I thank you for the encouragement, for the support. I think all Jamaicans listening right now are more pumped than they were before because, it's always encouraging when you find fellow Jamaicans who are in the struggle with you, who are committed to the cause. This is the first time we're meeting. Never met you before, never spoke to you before. Didn't even know of
Never.
you until today when VP Powell brought it to my attention. And so I want to thank you for coming out tonight and for sharing with us. This will not be the last time we're speaking. This is the
Not
beginning
at all.
of many. And
I'm
we just
delighted.
want to encourage all Jamaicans across. Or big up Mr. Desmond Myrie. I see you on the chat here. Miss Janet Graham, good night to you. Welcome. Wade Noble. All of you who are out there watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this movement. The UIC was created for you, all Jamaicans. So whether you found yourself on one or the other side on which they, tricked you into being, the time is now to come out from among them. It's time for you to come out from among them, separate yourself from those who are committed to a master slave economy, those who have ripped off you and your children, your parents, your grandparents. It's time for you to say enough is enough. We're now coming out from that and we're now going to come together and form one Jamaica because we're stronger together. It's time for unity. It's time for liberation. It's time for empowerment. It's time for us to take charge of our own country. It's time for us to be an example to our African brothers and sisters in the African diaspora and in the homeland. Let's show them what good governance can look like. Let's show them that we as a people can take charge in this small but powerful country. We have led the way in so many areas. We're a dynamite force in sports. We're a dynamite force in music and entertainment and food. We've done so many things on the world stage. Our people have gone to different countries and excelled beyond their wildest expectations. We know that Jamaica has contained too many of us. It has robbed too many of us of our potential, and it's time for that to stop. It's time for us to take charge. It's time for us to be the best that we can possibly be. And we can only do that when we unite as one family, one Jamaica, because for sure together we're stronger. So have a good night. Until next time, all the best, Mr. Anderson. Good night, everyone. Until we meet again. Take care. Respect.
Blessed Lord. Let God
Blessings.
arise and